So when I was younger, I had the idea that I wanted a creative life of some kind, and I wasn't quite sure that I guess, had the ambition to write novels. So I initially, when I wanted to be a writer, I wrote a lot of poetry because that's, 10 steps to success. The first is become a poet. For some people it is, but not for me. And I tried journalism and I tried arts reporting. So I knew that I wanted to write in some form, but I was in my late 20s, well, mid to late, I guess like my mid 20s when I finally kind of sat down and tried to write something that was long form fiction. And it really took me that long to have the kind of courage and stamina to even try. And it took a lot of like failing or, writing too badly to share before I actually finished anything. So that is another piece of advice, which is like, you have to fail, write badly for many years before you are going to feel like you're writing well.
So now here's a question that actually both of you can answer. So so Melissa, it would be your process about writing. Do you write every day for how long? Sarah, what is your process for editing? Do you have a certain way that you do it and do you devote time to it every day? So Sarah, why don't we start with you?
I honestly feel like I edit every book differently, as if I'm going to figure out some great new way of doing it. But generally speaking, I kind of start big and go small. And when I read something on submission that I'm excited about, I tend to read it really quickly, which is great because it's that kind of reader experience. But it also means that I kind of miss things and need to read it again once I am sure I want to buy it or have bought it. And I don't want to have too many surprises for the author, but it's like, oh, on second or third read, actually, I think I had this with the Hazelwood. I was like, I know I told you when I first talked to you that I had no notes because it was perfect and I love you so much. Please pick me. And then I was like, actually, that ending, can we work on that? So it's just.
So you were so right. You were so right. I read those notes I think I was like in a hotel room in Chicago, and I was like, oh, but such a good move, such a good call.
But so on the second, third read, I kind of have a pencil in the manuscript, or I'm doing the comments in the iPad and kind of take it from there. And every pass hopefully is like more and more granular after that.
I also must say, I hope this isn't like too much peeking behind the curtain, but when I gave something to you that needed a major rewrite, you wrote me the kindest letter I've ever read. And I feel like it took me about 10 reads to confirm my suspicion that I needed to rewrite the thing, because you were so graceful and so generous and kind. And I don't know how you did it.
I don't know if that was actually a service to you or not, because it's hard because I want to be clear and direct, but I also know how big of a deal it is for someone to put themselves out there in this way.
Like dumping someone and they come back the next day because they didn't realize they'd been dumped. It was like, there was enough in there, I knew, but it was delivered so wonderfully that it was like, and it was such a relief because you were right. I was like, thank God somebody said it, but so kindly.
Like it confirmed your gut feeling.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So Melissa, what about your process? Do you write every day? Do you, are you disciplined or?
Well, my editor's here, so I write 5,000 words a day. No, I try to write Monday through Friday because I have a son who is small and his naps are no longer as predictable. So I don't always have any time in the weekend at all. And yeah, Monday through Friday, I was a morning writer, but it's kind of moving into the later afternoon. And if it's a drafting day, I try to hit 2,000 words. If it's like an editing day, then I'll kind of go back and forth between editing and drafting and moving things around and making notes. And then I'm less concerned about following word count. But I feel like for me, like a 1,000, like for drafting, a 1,000 word day is acceptable. A 2,000 word day is like great. And I read about people on Twitter who who are like five, like V. Schwab haunts me. She's so good and she's so productive. But I've not cracked it. I can't be a 5,000 word a day writer. Alas.